You are what you consume. Pretty simple concept. I'm sure you've heard that like 1,000 times in your life. But nowadays, it's like way more important to understand what that even means for real, because consuming is not the same as consuming 20 years ago was. You know what I mean? So maybe you feel stuck right now, and that's why you clicked on the video or whatever, right? And that's the first question. Like, what do you consume? What is it in your life that you use up those precious seconds and minutes and hours of your day on? I mean, if you're watching this, obviously you're using it on social media, right? Maybe use it on like physical things, like, I don't know, drugs. Maybe I got some junkies in here, you know what I mean? And honestly, I'm not sure what y'all consume, right? I mean, I'm not gonna know all the answers, but you know the answer. So ask yourself that question. Brainstorm, come up with that list. But most likely you're gonna end up with a list and they might not even be bad. Like when I say consume, that kind of puts a negative connotation on it, right? But I think most of the stuff we consume is not even necessarily bad. And I'll get to that in a second. But all those things on your list are gonna affect you, right? They're gonna affect how your life goes. It's gonna affect you mentally, right? With social media. Cause I know, like me, bro, I will start freaking doom scrolling for 30 minutes and I come out of there with like a fog in my head, bro, like nasty fog. And it ruins the rest of my day, or at least like the next 4 hours where I just have that nasty mental fog, dog. And I've kind of gotten away from that, luckily. But at any moment, like I could literally just relapse on that, and then, you know, it could all go to crap. So understand exactly what you do consume on a daily basis and how it affects you. And, you know, next thing would probably be like, what should you consume? So you know what you do consume, and now you have to ask the question, what should you consume? And that's kind of a case by case basis thing, because everybody's different, and maybe some of y'all already consume things that are good. But how do you know something is good to consume? And I think the most important thing to discern whether something is good for you as far as consuming would be, you know, maybe it makes you think, makes you want to create something, makes you want to go outside. I don't know, maybe makes you want to get healthier, like things like that. Like that should be, we all know what's ultimately good for us to consume, but you have to like say it out loud in your head. You have to spit it out, bro. Because if you don't say it, nobody's gonna tell you. Like you literally have to tell yourself these things. If you don't speak to yourself, you're gonna create a fog in your brain and you're never gonna understand yourself. So find what things you should consume. And also those things that you take in, right? Some of them, they'll have you become a cog in somebody else's world. And nobody wants to be that. The only person's world we want to be a part of is God, right? So, but most of the things in this world kind of make me think of like some steampunk, you know, universe where everything is just like a copper pipe and there's steam just everywhere blowing out. I'm trying to think of like a game, kind of like not Fallout, my bad. Well, actually Fallout would be good too, but I'm thinking like BioShock. I'm sure y'all know BioShock. Well, I hope y'all do. But yeah, it's just like a nasty like metal world, bro. It's just totally fake, means nothing. There's no flesh. People are literally just made out of metal. Like that's ultimately the path the world's going to. So you got to divert from that. So like I said earlier, what you consume right now may not even be bad. You're just not actually taking in what you're consuming. You're actually just consuming and like shit and pooping it out, right? When you need to be taking it in and like absorbing it, not consuming it. You gotta flip the verbiage on it. And essentially you're just basically repenting on what you're consuming. And repentance to me, like when you think of repentance, it's just like, oh, I'm sorry for doing this. Like, please forgive me, right? But that's not really what repenting is. Repentance is essentially like knowing what you're doing and flipping that on its head and making it a good thing. Like committing yourself and kind of making like a covenant almost to never do that thing again. And when I say covenant because it's like a strong word. It's something that means something. You're not just gonna be like, I guess I'm not gonna do that again. No, like make a pact with yourself, bro, with your own brain. So when you do watch something or whatever, you eat something, like start to criticize it. Don't be anal about everything, but like think about it for a second before you make that decision and ask questions. Because the greatest people in life that you know asked a lot of questions. Think about the smartest person in your life. I bet they didn't know anything until they started asking, right? Nah, they didn't know nothing, right? So you need to start asking questions in your life. And that's kind of the problem with nowadays. Nobody wants to look confused or like they don't know anything. But that's just life, dog. You're not going to know everything. So you got to ask. You got to gather fragments from different people. And ultimately, you just want to form and create the life you want. It's that simple. So when you watch like this video or literally any other video, don't just watch it to watch it, bro. Like I know we like to just watch videos whenever we eat and stuff. And trust me, I do that too. But literally criticize and ask the questions that need to be asked. Simple. When somebody asks, like I know some YouTube videos will have a question asked. Like even I just did that right now. I asked a question earlier, a couple of them. Maybe pause that hoe for a second, bro. And literally think about it. everything is on go nowadays. We need to take a pause. All of our lives are just like literally swinging through, like Spider-Man in the city, bro, is just flying by. But we got to really sit down with what we are doing and be the person that we want to be. I mean, it really is. I know I keep saying it's simple, bro, but life is pretty simple, dog. It's very simple. But our brains now just kind of like rip out all the substance and all the different materials within whatever we take in, and pretty much just leave us with the bones because we're trained to do that now. You know, that's just kind of how it works. But try to add some flesh on the bone. You know what I mean? Like dogs chew bones. We are not dogs. We don't chew bones. We eat the meat around the bone. Am I like right? That's just how it works. So try not to be a dog. Ultimately, like our time on this earth is very important. So just use it wisely. I mean, it's a simple message, but just use it wisely. Remember who you are. And yeah, you'll be good, man. You'll be safe. Everything will line up. There's going to be ups and downs, but control what you take in and absorb it for what it actually is. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Deuces.